welfare of Steph Catley, who has had her injury concerns in recent years, and she's copped an early knock here. And everyone holds their breath because she has missed quite a bit of football.
Yeah, it's scary to see this when Steph Catley's such a tough player, so to see her pull up sore is a bit scary for both the Melbourne City fans and also all those Matildas fans out there.
She remains the Melbourne Victories games record holder. Grand final winning captain with them at a very young age. And she just didn't like that step, and checking the stability of the knee. Oh, just makes you wince watching that as well. Let's hope she's okay.
Never good to see these tests going on, Speedy. This is the classic ACL test, and we just all got to hope that she pulls up all right.
So the captain moves to the sideline. Let's hope she can play on and play out the 90. May need some strapping just to give her a bit more confidence. So City playing with 10 at the moment. Emsley's got her knee strapped. Didn't have that last week in the win over Sydney FC. The short W League season certainly takes its toll on players.
Yeah, it's tough because as players you don't want to be missing games because it is such a short season, but sometimes it's in the players' best interest to have some time off. We just don't have that luxury in the W League.
Turned over here to Jenkins. Catley was invited back onto the pitch. Seems to be moving okay. As the Victory earn a free kick through Grace-Mar. Just like Ellie Carpenter, arrived into the W League in their mid-teens, those two.
Very impressive players and will definitely be setting a lot of records going forward.
Both playing with Canberra United in years gone by, as Hanson lofts it deep, finds the head of Dowie. Wind really is whipping around. Dowie tries to settle for the throw and gets it. Cross whipped in. Barnes taking her goalkeeper out of it. City clear via Van Egmond. Emsley trying to hold it up. Catley.
Pretty harmless attack there by Victory. They managed to get in a good position being in the final third there, but they probably needed to be a bit more patient. They didn't have many numbers in the box, and a bit of patience, bringing the ball out, drawing the Melbourne City players back out to re-attack probably would have been a better option.
McCormick steps up, just missed Jenkins, allowing Stock to take it away and launch a quick counter-attack from City. Beautifully played by Mijatovic. Emsley couldn't get the first touch she was after, but tracked it down, the Scottish international. Still alive in the attacking box for City for a moment. No foul was the cry from Rado Vidicic. He knew they'd get possession back, and indeed they did.
Great ball in there by Mijatovic, and a great run there from Emsley. City need to get some more numbers in the box when she gets in positions like that, but all up, good build-up play, and hopefully more will come of it as the game goes on.
What a confidence-boosting move that is from Steph Catley, and she thought Emsley was making a run in behind. Hasn't quite worked out for Emsley yet, but she's a player that so impressed you in the World Cup this year with Scotland.
Yeah, definitely one of those players throughout the World Cup. A joy to watch the whole time. Very, very good attacker.
She might be a chance here after the turnover straight to Mijatovic. Worked clear by Menges to find her countrywoman in Jenkins, and it's opening up here for the Victory, who have won the last 3 derbies. Now Ayres can't get it past Barnes. She can have another go though. Melina Ayres, who made the switch between these two clubs a few years back now, and Williams saw an early deflection there and was grateful it came straight to her.
Great break there from Jenkins. She shows her speed. She starts to run at players. and then looks to play Melina Ayres in. I think I would have liked to see her to keep driving through the midfield and even drawing in a few more defenders before slipping that ball wide. But really positive play from her, and Victory are going to need her to do that all night long.
Jenkins taking on club teammates from the NWSL tonight in the form of Catley and Barnes. Normally teammates, but enemies this evening in the derby.
Yeah, it's helpful playing with players, you know, how they play and how to defend against them. I wonder if that's going to be helpful for Lauren Barnes tonight.
Here she is right on cue. Emsley's flick will find Mijatovic, who seems to be playing with a real swagger. The Serbian pickup. A couple of goals already. A goal and an assist in the win over Sydney FC, and the ball keeps finding her. Here she is again to Carpenter, and it's Van Egmond who makes the run in the middle. Got the furthest forward for a brief moment there. That's what you're talking about with City. Can they get enough numbers in the middle to capitalise on Carpenter's build-up? And it's clear by McCormick.
Great build-up there from City, and we see it go again.
And Stott with a little too much pace on the pass for Mijatovic, but Lewick comes in, a defensive midfielder, and Kaya Simon, an attacker, goes out. So does that sum up where City are at? Is that a bit negative, do you think, the change to the 11?
No, I don't think so. I think the idea of bringing Lewick in is because she is a calm player on the ball. She plays a true defensive midfielder role, and it allows their fullbacks to get forward, and that's what Melbourne City want. That's why they've signed the likes of Steph Catley and Ellie Carpenter, because of their attacking ability.
And Kaya Simon's time will come, of course, in this game. You'd think for at least half an hour or more.
Oh, definitely. I'd be very surprised if we didn't see Kaya out there. She had a brilliant game last week. Coming off injury too, that's hard, but she definitely looked really sharp, and I think that we'll see her get some good minutes in this match.
Good strength on the ball from Beard.
Stay with her, stay with her.
Could easily have taken a tumble there as Mijatovic went into her back. Angie Beard able to stroll up over halfway and find Dowie, whose layoff couldn't quite release Annalie Longo, the New Zealand international.
Yeah, Beard almost had too much time to think there. I think she should have slipped the ball in a lot earlier, hit Jenkins' feet, and allowed her to figure out what to do with it going forward.
Carpenter pushing on again. Emsley makes her move between the centre halves, and Beard again comes up trumps.
She's going to have her work cut out for her tonight. The way that Ellie Carpenter's been performing this season and the ball she's been whipping in, she's a key player for Victory to shut down early.
Offside, which will upset the coach, Rado Vidicic, whenever you get an offside in that situation. Carpenter just a little unaware.
Yeah, I think so. She's thrown the ball in there and then kind of forgotten where she was. Probably a little bit lazy not to get back on side, but they're definitely going to be looking for her up that right side a lot tonight to whip in those balls, like I was saying before. But as we're talking about Claire Emsley, she's a really exciting player and someone that we probably haven't seen the best of yet. And I think that going forward in this league, she's definitely going to pick up momentum. I like to see her running at players. She almost reminds me of Hayley Razzo in the way that she attacks. It's really hard to predict where she's going to go, and that's what makes her really effective. And I think that if we see her getting comfortable running at players, she's going to be very effective for Melbourne City.
You will have heard the wind whipping around. It looks like it's hard yakka for the Victory to attack from right to left, really driving into it. City with the breeze at their backs. And Mijatovic, all this space again for Carpenter, and it might break her way. Indeed, Emsley is chasing, but Menges first to it. And Dumont wearing a cap to see off the setting sun. Got the clearance away.
Again, you spoke of Menges there, and she's a quality centre-back for Melbourne Victory. A lot of experience, and I can imagine that she's going to be trying to guide this younger Melbourne Victory team to try and shut down the City attack, but she's definitely someone with a lot of experience and isn't going to get beaten easily.
Now the New Yorker, who has played for the Portland Thorns for quite a while now. Confidence from Barnes to judge that bouncing ball. Go back to her keeper, the vastly experienced Matilda's shot stopper, Lydia Williams. Carpenter again. May as well carry and wait for the runs. Emsley's on the move. So too is Mijatovic. Emsley had to pause on her run to try and stay on side. Mijatovic will settle for the corner.
Good little combination play in that build-up there from City. They just weren't really sure. You could see there was a little bit of hesitation of where each other was going to run. And I think that comes with playing with each other more. We know that this Melbourne City team is coming together very late in comparison to other teams in the league. So I think going forward, we are going to see them gel a lot more.
Catley has come across to swing it in. All goes short to Van Egmond. Takes the latter option. Van Egmond teases it in, and Dumont's going to gobble that one and bowl it out.
It's good to see Tegan Allen out there tonight. I was a bit unsure of how she would have pulled up after last week. We saw her come off with an injury, and she's battled a lot of injuries throughout her career, so it's really good to see that she was able to pull up all right for tonight's game and start again in that right full-back position.
Been around a long time now, Tegan Allen, two-time championship winner with 2 different clubs.
A very hard-working player too. She's the kind of girl who's first at training and last to leave, and just lives and breathes the game. So it's good to see her doing well.
Van Egmond, classy ball over the top, but it just skims away. Dumont wasn't sure. She backed off and then realised that skimmed to her advantage. Such a tough ball to execute, but Van Egmond is as likely as anyone to pull it off.
Yeah, it was good vision there from Em, and as you said, a great little ball over the top. It was just unfortunate that it skidded on with the surface. They did, they watered the pitch before the start of the game, and it's allowed the ball to move a lot quicker, but it makes those little chip balls a lot more difficult because they do skid on. So if she's going to pull that one off, it's got to be absolutely pinpoint.
Did those sprinklers come on in the pre-game, did they?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't notice. No.
That was wonderful to watch the making of television as Tara Rushton and Georgia Yeoman-Dale were skipping around to avoid getting hit by the sprinklers and still maintaining their chat. That's how you make television, learning on the run like that.
Literally on the run.
Bit of a collector's item here with Catley still on the right-hand side of the pitch after that corner routine a moment ago. Here she is, not used to playing on this side, the lefty. Carpenter on the left-hand side at the moment.
No, it is very difficult, especially for left-footed people, I think, because it's so rare.
There she is, delivering on the right. Great effort. Dumont had to be brave, diving at the feet of Emsley. McCormick only as far as her opposite number in Emily Van Egmond. So Catley made a good fist of it, didn't she, with the delivery on the right?
Yeah, she did. Proves that she's not just left-footed. She's got a quality right foot to whip that cross in.
Now Ayres to Longo. Touch just got away from us. Stott came across, couldn't gather. Look how far Dowie has to go back to lay one off to Tegan Allen, who plays a nice ball down the line for Ayres. Lewick wins more of these scraps than most, but well played by Ayres. Ball whipped into the middle, and Mijatovic there to clear for City. They do drop back in numbers when they have to, and now they can launch. Van Egmond again, exceptional passing. Found Catley. Didn't fancy bombing on. Happy to just maintain possession via Mijatovic.
Yeah, you see it there in the unfamiliar right side of the pitch there for Catley. She wasn't too comfortable opening up onto her right foot and decided to play it safe and to earn possession, which you don't mind. You don't want to be turning the ball over. So City are someone who are a team that want to secure possession before they worry too much about going forward. But it'll be interesting to see how long we see Steph Catley staying out here on the right-hand side.
Well, they're just waiting for some kind of stoppage, aren't they? But the games in the W League just tend to keep on flowing from end to end, and it might be tough for them to switch it up.
Maybe we'll get to see her score a goal if she can cut in on her left foot and curl one into the back post. That would be nice to see.
Like the Elise Perry strike from the 2011 World Cup.
Strike or cross? Still questioning that one.
Oh, definitely a strike. Come on. She's the GOAT, isn't she? GOAT in the cricket world.
Yeah, she is doing very well.
Barnes, time to get her head up and goes in retreat mode again, and Carpenter throws her head back in frustration. She had plenty of space to explore. But they are a patient team, aren't they, Melbourne City?
They are a very patient team, and sometimes I wonder if it goes against them, because sometimes they lose the moment just trying to earn that possession back, and they definitely try and steer away from being a counter-attacking team, but sometimes that works. So I hope that we don't see them just trying to keep too much possession, and we actually see them doing it with some sort of purpose going forward as well.
The little things of Yukari Kinga, the World Cup winner with Japan, the step over there. So clever, in her mid-30s now. Loved by all her teammates, just knows how to play the game, knows where to find the space. And Stott picks up the scraps here. Van Egmond, Mijatovic making a lovely run. It's going to skim away though. That pass was on. Van Egmond turned away, frustrated with herself for not executing.
Yeah, again, we see the surface come into play there. It's after watering it has gotten a lot quicker, and especially in that final third there for City, is the ball just seems to be slipping away. So they've either got to be hitting it out wide away from the goalkeeper, or really getting a feel for how fast the ball is moving.
Beard again, tending to her defensive duties. Poked away by Ma, couldn't quite find Dowie. Pressure was put on by Stott, forcing Ma to go quickly.
The other thing about this Melbourne City team, yes, they are keeping a lot of possession here at the back, but you have a look at Melbourne Victory and they're sitting off and allowing them to do it. They're sitting in a really nice block, which is closing down any opportunity to go forward, and it's making Melbourne City just want to knock it back across the back line.
Little 1-2 for Catley. Played it beautifully, did she, for Mijatovic, who couldn't quite keep it in. It's been a nearly kind of game for the Serbian, who made her name with Red Star Belgrade. If her teammates could just weight the pass a little better, she'd be in.
Yeah, she's making some brilliant runs, and we saw last week how dangerous she can be, even when she's picking the ball up in the midfield and running at defenders. So if they can start to get the weight of the pass right, it's definitely going to be dangerous.
Longo the furthest forward, and that pass gets away as well. What are those conditions like pitch side, Tara Rushton?
Yeah, thanks, Fede. I like the couple of comments about the sprinklers. They hit us fair and square. Merv, our floor manager, pushed us out of the way. We nearly hit the ground, to be completely honest with you, but we got through it just. You mentioned how quick the pitch was playing, and that's something that's actually been really frustrating. Rado Vidicic, he said, you're playing too quickly, don't force it, because you're giving the ball away. He's down here saying, just be easy, and just be patient. He feels like his team are forcing it too much.
And Georgia, you've run around in the W League for a while now. Is there some occasions where you feel like the pitch has been watered a little too much, or do they normally get it right?
No, it's hard to get right, because it's a combination of not just the watering of the pitch, but the length of the grass and how cold it is. So it's a cold night tonight, so the water's not actually drying up on the surface, which will mean that it'll stay quite smooth, and the ball's going to run through for quite a while tonight. It's not going to dry up really quickly. So it is something that the girls are going to have to get used to, and every pitch that you play on is different. So it does take a good, you know, usually 10-15 minutes to settle into how the pitch is actually playing.
Yeah, it's Melbourne City's first ever game at this venue. It's the Victory's fourth. They've lost the past two here. Another pass sailing out for a goal kick.
You'd have to think that Jeff Hopkins wouldn't be too happy with the way that Victory are playing at the moment. Yes, defensively they're shutting down Melbourne City really well, but they're turning over the ball very quickly once they pick up possession. So I think that it would be good to see them take a note out of Melbourne City's book.
Just what Catley needs. Solid contact from Tegan Allen. I thought she won the ball, but the referee didn't like the way she then went through Catley. Ball was there to be won. You could argue that Allen is the one who was fouled. Maybe that elbow falling smack into the jaw went against her.
Yeah, it was. I think it was almost a 50-50. They've both got the ball there, but when a player's in possession, often the referees don't like players coming in and lunging like that. And fair enough, if we're going to keep players safe, then it might be the right thing to do. But Tegan would have felt bad about that. Look
at that, perfect pass. Look who executed it, Ivy Lewick. No one passes better in Australian football than Ivy. Here's Mijatovic. Misses Carpenter, who made a really promising run inside. Menges to Ayres, back to Allen. Menges caught by Kinga. Early ball is on. Emsley, the Scots, and blazes over. She had more time than that. Still yet to score in the W League, trying to emulate what her countrywoman did in this fixture. Beattie and Little both scoring in the second ever derby and a 4-0 win for City.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity there. She almost looks like she pulled up a little bit limp. And as you mentioned earlier, she's got that left knee heavily strapped.
Here she is again, holding things up as the Victory struggle to play out from the back. Lewick, perfect pass again to Stott, around everyone. Van Egmond in goal-scoring form, kept out by Dumont, who throws the cap away. She's done with that.
Oh, Emily. She would be disappointed to miss that one, but good to get in that good position.
Had another chance, and the header did not test Dumont.
She's definitely got a taste for scoring goals at the moment, because she is looking very confident in front of goals and happy to have a go, and even happy to get a head-on one, which we don't see Emily do very often.
And a lot of goalkeepers are beaten by shots that are close to their body, but that save again from Dumont was very similar to the one last week, which preserved the point against the Wanderers. She's so sharp to get down to her right or left when required. Catley's ball, and Dumont takes that on the chest.
Yeah, Casey Dumont's been in great form this season, and probably the best that we've seen her in a few years now, so should be very confident off that. As I mentioned earlier, Claire Emsley looked like she pulled up a little bit sore, and she's still limping out around there a little bit, so it'll be interesting to see if she gets some attention soon, or how long she's going to be able to play out in this match.
Yep, not moving freely at all. Played in a lot of big games in the UK. FA Cup finals. So not afraid of the big stage and a derby atmosphere like this. But not 100%.
It's not like they don't have anyone to bring on off the bench.
Yeah, could be Kaya Simon playing as the leader of City's line. Casey Dumont, 3 caps for the Matildas, and she went to a few tournaments as backup, the likes of Barbieri and Lydia Williams.
Really open here.
Wonder whether she can get back there again in this form. Whether Ante Milicic is catching what Dumont is doing. As Menges hangs this one up, there was a long stoppage for Dowie to sort out her shoelaces.
Yeah, as I said, Casey Dumont in top form at the moment, and I'm sure that the Matildas staff would be watching her closely as one of probably the best performers in the W League at the moment.
It's been a real rotation in the squad, hasn't there, of goalkeepers. Willisey got a chance most recently. Eliza Campbell as well in recent times. Here's one to chase for Dowie against Checker. She's got the speed. Does the English woman and turns Checker inside out. Advantage here for Dowie, who picks up the run of Longo. Trying to force it to Ma. And straight down the throat of Lydia Williams. Well, Tash Dowie has made something happen again.
How exciting was that from Tash Dowie? Great run, great to get her body in the way there from Checker, and there's nothing you can do as a defender. Cheeky little back heel through the legs. And she could have gone down there and would have got a free kick, but decided to keep going and showed composure just to lay the ball off for Longo. It was a great opportunity and, of course, comes through Tash Dowie.
Kinga shielding it away from Hansen. Van Egmond gets so many touches. Dropping that little bit deeper. Off the head of Beard. Carpenter tried the first time ball. Now she's got plenty of options. Whips it in back post, just eluding Emsley. They ask for handball, they get it. Penalty given. Not sure that is supposed to be given in the modern interpretation, but an unnatural position is what the referee Isabella Blais says. Thought Tegan Allen just, her control let her down. It was an unfortunate handball.
Great ball in there from Ellie Carpenter, though. She put it in such a good position, and Claire Emsley running into the box, and unfortunate there from Tegan Allen. But, yeah, handball in the box, and you've got to give the penalty.
Emily Van Egmond says, thanks very much. Can Dumont keep out another Matilda, just as she did against Tamika Yallop about 3 weeks ago now in the Thursday night game? Van Egmond can hit them sweetly. She's got a hurricane coming from behind her. This could travel. Good luck stopping it. Emily Van Egmond. Oh, Dumont does! The penalty-saving specialist. What a season she is having. Take a bow, Casey Dumont.
Brilliant there from Casey Dumont. We've talked about how good her form is at the moment, and she's continuing to show it. Emily Van Egmond would be disappointed with that penalty, but Casey's pulled off the save, so well done to her.
Lewick tried the ball around the corner. Here's Checker against Dowie again. Back to Williams, and it just got there. Stott has such composure. An Australian youth international who made the switch to New Zealand to play for the senior side all those years ago now.
Yeah, she's been a stalwart in the W League over the last few years, and just a really confident defender. Here we see that penalty again, and Emily hasn't put it in a bad position, but Casey's read it really well and just got her body behind the ball.
What does she do all week? Just watches YouTube penalties being taken, because she's read Yallop's mind, she's read Van Egmond's mind. She was already edging that way, wasn't she?
Casey's an intelligent goalkeeper, and it wouldn't surprise me if she didn't have a list of every player in the W League and which way they go in penalties.
How eager Rado Vidicic is to play ball boy. He would have expected his team to take the lead, but Van Egmond couldn't get the better of Casey Dumont. And again, the worry for Matilda's stars, missing penalties, unable to convert them heading into the Olympic year.
Yeah, it is a bit of a worrying trend at the moment, how many of our Matildas are missing penalties, and we're looking for that #1 penalty taker and someone who's going to consistently be putting them away. But Emily's been quite solid penalty taker in recent years, and it should be, as I said, disappointed with that one, but you can't take away from a quality save from the goalkeeper. It's just really also interesting what it does mentally for both teams, because if you miss a penalty as an attacking team, you almost feel like you've let in a goal. It almost feels like it was your goal to have, and you've let it go. So, and then on the other side of that, Victory get pumped with a big save from their keeper.
And they win it back in midfield here. Ma, gets the better of Kinga, turning the tables on the Japanese superstar. And a turn with swagger as well, but Catley came back to take it off her toes. Emsley told to turn. Again, it's that backwards pass from Melbourne City, when there might be a promising situation if they just turn and go.
Yeah, they're definitely waiting to get into the perfect position before they start to go forward, which, you know, I think we need to see Steph Catley and Ellie Carpenter actually breaking the lines before the defence is set. I think the issue then with that is, are they going to be able to get the numbers in the box if they can whip in across?
Checker advances. Nice weight over the top, but Carpenter didn't get the touch she wanted on the first bounce. Will play her 50th W League game here next week. Ellie Carpenter against Perth in the Thursday night game.
Yeah, she's a veteran now with the W League, Ellie Carpenter, and still one of the youngest ones out there. So she'll be going around for many years to come, and I can imagine that she is going to have the record for the most W League goals by the end of her career.
W League games.
W League games. Unless she starts scoring a lot of goals, and then that could be interesting too.
Sam Kerr just fell off her armchair.
Sorry, Sammy. Sorry, just games.
Lewick maintained possession as Ma had a hack at it. Kinga got the outnumber. Mijatovic pass behind Carpenter. Pressure applied by Beard. Stepped up at the right time to force the error.
Melbourne City are playing some good football. We say that they're holding onto the ball and keeping possession, but then when they start to build up, they are coming up with some really good combination plays out wide. It's just the last touch is not coming off for them, and there's a bit of luck to play at that, whether it's the run of the pitch or, you know, a little touch off the side of the defender's boot. It'll be interesting. Maybe if luck starts to go their way, I think that there's going to be a lot more opportunities going forward, and especially if you're bringing off the bench the likes of Kaya Simon and even Riley Dobson, bringing on some speed up front. Victory are going to want to look to get some goals in before they're bringing those kinds of players off the bench.
McCormick with the composure to step around Mijatovic. And midfield wasn't creating for her, so she had to go wide to Beard. And Stott should be able to shepherd that one out ahead of Jenkins. Were you a player that if you played into the win in the first half and you could break even, you felt pretty confident going into the second? Is that what the Victory are achieving here so far? Yeah,
definitely. You feel like you've won the first half if you're the one battling into the wind and you go in all square. And it's also, again, that mental game of if you've had the wind in your back the whole first half and you're going into the sheds 0-0, knowing that you're going to have to come out when you're tired and run into the wind to try and win the game, that's tough. So mentally, Victory are going to have it up on Melbourne City if this goes in 0-0 at half-time.
Tegan Allen's got to be walking a tightrope after blocking off Kinga there, dishing out some treatment to Catley at times as well. Maybe one or two more challenges and she could be heading into the book.
Yeah, Tegan Allen's not one that's shy for a yellow card. She definitely goes all in on her tackles, and that has been a reason that she's made it where she has in the national team. Is she is a solid defender who isn't going to pull out of anything. But as you said, you don't necessarily want to have one of your defenders carrying a yellow card this early in the game.
Terrific hold-up play from Longo. She had 3 sky blue shirts around her, earned her team the free kick, and just float this one in between the back line and goalkeeper. You can make something happen here, the Victory.
Yeah, going into the wind, she's going to actually have to put a fair bit on it, and it will hold up in the air. But it also, Lydia Williams will be in 2 minds about whether to come out to a ball, because it's hard to judge when it's this windy. So she's definitely they're going to want to just dip this one in behind and try and get the defenders turning onto it.
Referee just getting on top of any potential push and shove. Look at that bank that Melbourne City have set up here. Here's the variation, and it's away by Stott once more. Allen will have time to turn. Back to Beard, who was the safety valve, back on halfway. Jenkins, deft little flick, the back heel for Dowie. And Kinga took it away only momentarily. First time City have really had to defend their own box for that length of time in the entire first half. Almost the creativity of Longo opening things up.
Yeah, and that's where Victory are going to look dangerous, is when they can get Tash Dowie and Annalie Longo to combine on the edge of the box there and cause Melbourne City some problems.
Ulmar left it behind for Van Egmond. Getting her head up. Runs are being made. Found Carpenter. Here comes Kinga. After checking on the welfare of an opponent a moment ago, she chimes into the attack.
Yeah, I think Kinga and Gracie Marr would have spent some time together at Canberra for Canberra United, so they'd not be strangers, that's for sure.
Now Carpenter off the outside of the boot, and Dumont knew it was going out for a goal kick, but elected to keep it in play.
In conditions like these, you don't really want to be taking goal kicks too often, because off the ground there's not much you can really do with them, with the wind holding it up. So you can imagine, you can understand why Casey Dumont wants that one in her hands.
She had all that time to make the decision making as well. Do I want to take this? Yes, I do. And she plucked it. Just airs sliding through and catching her opponent there, giving away the free kick. Referee couldn't have been better placed to adjudicate.
Yeah, there was no missing that one there. She was standing right in the play, and easy one to call.
Lovely find. Beard inside to Hansen, who has played for the senior US national team. This lady would love to down the track. Darian Jenkins through the legs of Carpenter. Couldn't quite finish off the nutmeg on the other side, but she's got some moves in her. Darian Jenkins, fired back in by Marr. Dowie, that was a half chance for Natasha Dowie. She knows it. Brilliant ball in from Grace Marr.
Yeah, great little run here from Darian Jenkins. That's the quality that we see from her, is when she gets the ball at her feet and she runs at players and doesn't mind a cheeky little nutmeg every now and then. But Tash Dowie would be disappointed not to get more on that. She holds herself to high account, and knew that that was a very good chance for victory, and that they're not going to come very often in this game.
Clever by McCormick, playing it out off Van Egmond. What a day it was for her when she made her Matilda's debut in Parramatta With the family flying up from Adelaide to be there for the big day. And now it's tough to see her missing out on Matilda's squads for a while.
Yeah, she was brilliant for the Matildas in her debut as well. You often think that...
Turned over by Dumont, straight to Mijatovic. Van Egmond wasn't quite back on side yet.
Yeah, in some Matildas debuts you expect, or international debuts, you expect to see people have a bit of nerves, but Jenna McCormick just wasn't one of those people. She came out and she was full of confidence and happy to, you know, take players on from a centre-back role. So, and did really, really well and is continuing that form into the W League. She's been a solid defender here for the Melbourne Victory, and as you said, I would be very surprised not to see her in Matilda's lineups going forward.
And she's the social media queen as well. She was running the show in South Korea, where the team really got some extra bonding in that maybe other clubs don't get, able to go away internationally at this stage of the season.
Yeah, there's a flip side to it as well. Obviously, it's the extra games. I did it with Canberra United the first year that the W League was involved in the Asian Champions League, and it's really exciting to actually get the week away with your teammates in another country, playing non-club games. It's definitely an experience that all players in the W League want to experience one day, but it is tough because you're travelling and then you've got to come back and you've got the games to make up as well. So there's two sides of it, but you definitely take travelling over not going, that's for sure.
Oh, another 50-50 for Catley to contend with. It breaks the way of Emsley into the area. Clever cut back, Mijatovic! And the block from McCormick this time. Didn't leave it to Dumont. So City have had their chances, but still this derby remains goalless.
Yeah, well done there from Claire Elmsley, though. Like, such a quality player. As I said, a joy to watch in the Women's World Cup, and we're starting to see sparks of what she's capable of. Mijatovic would be disappointed not to have put that one into the back of the net, but a good build-up play from Melbourne City.
Emsley again, trying to link up with Van Egmond. See how eager the Matilda is to get on with it. Catley had nowhere to go though.
And Emily Van Egmond covering a lot of ground. We see her over on the left-hand side, over on the right-hand side, defending, attacking, getting in the box. She's definitely fit at the moment and doing a lot of Ks out there tonight.
Little tug back on air. She still tried to release Dowie. Terrific referee. Brilliant. Waited to see whether the attack was going to amount to anything. Had seen the cynical tug and should finish it off with a yellow card, and she does. That's how the referee, Lauren Barnes, goes into the book for that. Closing in on half-time. It's another set-piece opportunity for the Victory.
Tough position here, going into the wind. You can't, it's too far out to have a shot, especially against the likes of Lydia Williams. So they're going to be, again, looking to just dink that ball in behind the line and hoping to get someone on the end of it.
Victory really need to spin someone out, back post perhaps. Try and get some space in behind. Longo has gone out into a wide area. Ma will dink it in, and no one's going to get on the end of it. And Dowie says, what was that?
I think just as she's hit it, the wind has absolutely died off. So she's probably hit it expecting the wind to hold it up, and all of a sudden it's skied all the way through. So disappointing for Victory. They're not getting many opportunities, and to not take better advantage of that, I think that they will be really disappointed with it.
President's Cup on in Melbourne at the moment. She looked to her caddy and said, what's going on? Had the wrong club.
Either the pitching wedge.
That's a clever little move again from Longo. Capped more than 120 times by New Zealand. Free kick against Catley. Really does perfect the incredulous look, doesn't she, Steph Catley? When a decision goes against, you can see why. Wins the ball.
Yeah, it's frustrating when those ones are called against you because all of a sudden your team's under attack and you haven't done anything wrong, especially this late into the half. She'll be upset with it, but City have got to get on with it and hold this one out.
Yeah, you can really try and whip it in with pace from this kind of angle. Chance for the runners to attack that penalty spot area. Victory given the hurry up. Lefty delivery, Lydia Williams with the big shout of keeper. Beard again. Lovely touch. Couldn't she drag that out of the sky with confidence? That could have gotten away and it would have put City away. And it was the final moment of this absorbing first half. Steph Catley survived an early injury scare. And Melbourne Victory avoided the ultimate scare thanks to this lady. Casey Dumont, in the form of her life, saves a spot kick from Emily Van Egmond. How big will that be in the final wash-up? At half-time at ABD Stadium, it's City 0, the Victory 0. Let's get to Tara.
Yeah, thanks. I'm joined by Emily Van Egmond. Em, you don't get a much better opportunity than that to head into the sheds in the lead. Missed penalty, how disappointing.
Yeah, it's football, it happens. Just got to keep our heads up and keep going with the game plan.
You had the most of the opportunities, the better of the opportunities, though. What's it going to take in the second half?
Yeah, they're a well-organised team. You know, they've gone to a good tournament over in Asia, so they look like they've learned a lot from that. And pretty hard to break down, but if we stick to our game plan, I'm pretty confident we'll get one.
Thanks, Em. Best of luck. I'm now joined by Natasha Dowie. Tash, good to see you. Well, full credit to Casey Dumont. I bet you're going to be saying that in the sheds.
Yeah, she's been on fire so far this season for us, and you know she's kept us in it. And we're playing into their hands. You know, we're playing into the central areas, which is where they want us to play. So we need to be clever and get around them and start exploiting the space at the back a bit more. But we've had a few half chances, and you know it's good that we've gone in 0-0, and then it's all to play for now.
And perhaps you'll have the wind working with you as well.
Yes, hopefully. You know, it's a big game. You know, it's a must-win for us today, and we need to keep with the top four. So hopefully we can come out second half and get them goals.
Best of luck, Tash.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, great to hear from both the players there. Stick around, we're off to a short break. On the other side, I'll be joined by Georgia Yeomandale to run our eye over all of the first half action in this Melbourne derby. Welcome back to Melbourne Derby Night live from ABD Stadium in Broadmeadows. The two top teams in Melbourne go head-to-head. It's 0-0 as they head into the sheds. But there's been a host of chances, predominantly for the team wearing the light blue out there this evening. But Melbourne Victory are well and truly still in it. Thanks very much in part to their goalkeeper, Casey Dumont. Welcome back, Tara Rushton. It's great to have your company and the company of Georgia Yeomandale. Georgia, a really entertaining first half. What have you made of it all?
Yeah, as we expected, Melbourne City with a lot of the possession so far, creating a few really good opportunities, but not quite coming off for them. Victory, on the other hand, a few counter-attacking opportunities, and they are looking dangerous in parts.
You know who looked really dangerous? Well, Emily Van Egmond, when she stepped up to the spot. There was this moment right here, a penalty awarded for a handball. Clear handball for you? How did you see it?
It's a tough handball because it's come off her own boot. But it's in the area, and I'm not really sure on the ruling on this one, but it's hit her hand and it's in the area of an attacker, so I guess it's there to be given. It's hard to argue against
Poor Tegan Allen in that moment, and then Em, she steps up. She's in great goal-scoring form, but Casey Dumont is in great goalkeeping form.
Yeah, you're exactly right there. Em Van Egmond actually put it in not a bad spot. She probably would have liked to go further down into the corner, but top save by Casey Dumont in red-hot form.
I dare say that her teammates are going to owe her a drink or a hot chocolate after this one, because it is a pretty windy evening down here at ABD Stadium. Melbourne City's chances, you touched on it there, Georgia. They've had all the ball play, all the possession. Some gorgeous balls in, but perhaps not on the same page just yet.
Yeah, no, a few really good build-up plays, and then it seems to be the last pass just doesn't come off or not in the right position at the right time. But there's definitely a lot of positivity to take out of this first half for them, and a few little tweaks, and I think that they can come out and be very dangerous again. A lot coming down from the right-hand side, but then we see Claire Emsley get on the ball a couple of times, and when she has, she's looked dangerous, despite limping around a little bit. So I think it'll be interesting to see whether she actually continues out into this second half.
Oh, shame they've only got Kaya Simon sitting on the bench. No Vicky or anything.
Rubbish sub to bring on, rubbish.
What about that? Ali Carpenter, we spoke to her pre-game. We spoke about the impact that Ali and Steph Catley would have bombing on from the left and right flank. We saw them play on opposite sides of the park as well, but a fantastic contribution. Some of her balls in, they're just begging to be finished though. Yeah,
she's been whipping in some fantastic balls all season, and again tonight we see some of her services is just top notch, but no one to get on the end of it. So she'd be disappointed because she's doing her part of the job. It's just making sure that there's someone in the box to get on the end of it.
You mentioned that Emsley might be carrying perhaps a little bit of a knock. We saw Steph Catley go down in the opening minutes of the game. It was a little bit of a worry because she was doing, and you'd know it, the Achilles test. She's back out there though. What about her playing on the right-hand side, right back?
Oh, that was definitely fun to watch. Probably, like, I would have liked to see her drive on the inside, as I was saying in commentary, and actually get a shot off, but it didn't come to fruition. But yeah, it's good to see that they're comfortable, no matter where they end up, to just play out the game until they get an opportunity to swap back. But yeah, a bit of fun to see her out on that right-hand side.
And we saw Casey Dumont there making that save, wearing the visor. She flung it off into the stands later on. She has, of course, been really, really big in between the sticks for her side. Looking at it from a Melbourne Victory perspective, Natasha Dowie, she's a big game player. You could see that little battle that she had running down the side, centre back.
With Emma Checker.
Emma Checker, that's who I'm thinking of. So strong, but she looks the one that's going to be most dangerous to put her side ahead.
Yeah, she does, and she always does for this Melbourne Victory side. They rely heavily on her to score goals, but when she does get on the ball, she looks dangerous, and that's why they've signed her. That's why we always talk about her, no matter what team she's playing for, is that she's the one to watch. She created some opportunities for a side that doesn't have a lot of possession. So whether that comes off in the second half and we see Victory go ahead running with the wind behind them, City have to be worried about her still. It
was interesting, speaking to Natasha Dowie before she ran into the sheds as well, she felt like, and she must feel like they're in a great position. They absorbed so much pressure from the dugouts down here. Rado was saying, Melbourne City's coach, just take it easy, you're pushing it too much and you're playing too quickly. And Jeff Hopkins was saying, be more compact, because they were going to play the long ball and there was no one in the front third giving them a clear option either. So from a Victory perspective, what are they going to have to do? What's going to have to be the message for them?
Yeah, look, it's more patient build-up for sure. So the way that they're defending and the way they have to defend against this Melbourne City side is they have to stay compact. But it means that when they do pick up the ball, there aren't players in those high and wide positions. So you need to stay patient and allow the play to build up naturally and then wait for your players to get forward instead of trying to just hit it long and hope that the defenders aren't going to get it and that we're going to have players run onto it.
But we'll see how the wind does impact Melbourne victory on the other side. We'll hear from Jeff Hopkins as well, but for now we're off to a short break. I'll let you get back up to commentary, Georgia. Do stay warm. And on the other side, we have a huge second half coming your way between Melbourne City and Melbourne Victory.
A quite spectacular sunset in Melbourne as we watch the 9th Melbourne derby in the Westfield W League. All locked up on the score sheet as it has been down the years as well. 4 wins apiece between these two. We've never had a draw, so you'd expect some second half drama. And who would have thought when you're playing in a summer football league, Georgia Yarmandale, that you're going to have to bounce around like this? Welcome to Melbourne in mid-December.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been this cold in a W League match before, but this is Melbourne weather for you, isn't it?
And what a star Casey Dumont has become for the victory this season. And she had the big moment in the first half again, but she will have her hands full with this lady. Kaya Simon, as we predicted in the first half, does indeed come on at half-time for Emsley, who was struggling with that knee. So it's a like-for-like change. Would you expect Simon to lead the line?
Yeah, definitely. the way that Kaya was playing last week just showed that she's definitely back to her best self in this season. She's struggled with a few injuries over the last couple of years, and it's good to see her in good form. I was a bit disappointed to not see her starting tonight, so it's good to see her at least get on for 45 minutes tonight.
So the Melbourne Victory's coach, Jeff Hopkins, has a new headache to contend with, and he's with Tara.
Yeah, thanks, Ferdy. I'm joined by Jeff Hopkins. Jeff, you're able to hold them out in the first 45, but what's going to be key come this second half?
Yeah, look, we'll most probably play, just sit back into a just slightly deeper block in the middle third. It's been quite effective when we've done it well, but we really want to keep pressing them. So we'll take advantage of hopefully goal kicks, dead balls, throw-ins to try and put a little bit of pressure on and counter-attack from there, because I think we've been quite effective late on the game counter-attacking.
And hopefully the wind helps you out as well.
Yeah, that'll be nice too.
Best of luck.
Cheers, thanks.
Jeff Hopkins looking to maintain his perfect record against Rado Vidicic, 2-0 down the years, 4-2 record overall against Melbourne City for the Welshman. Interesting that he said he wants to see the block drop that little bit deeper, Georgia.
Yeah, I found that interesting. He's focusing a lot more on them defensively, and I guess that you can take it on the approach that as long as Melbourne City don't score, we've got Tash Dowie up front, so we've got a chance of scoring, and that's how we're going to go about winning this game.
Really defending with a 4-1-4-1 formation here, Melbourne Victory. Simon getting a touch. Game number 99 in the W League for her. Straight on the front foot. Dynamic play from Kaya Simon. Beautiful ball shaped around the corner for Carpenter, who sliced that one to Dumont. Was aiming for the penalty spot.
Yeah, well done there by Kaya, though. It's good to see her get on the ball, and she already creates some great opportunities, and she's only been on the pitch for a couple of minutes, so we can expect to see a lot more of that from her tonight. As I said, she's definitely looking like she's in top form.
McCormick slides in, hooked it away from Van Egmond. Mijatovic opening up the pitch. Carpenter has a look over the right shoulder. And Kaya Simon doesn't have the same kind of athleticism to run onto a pass like Carpenter would herself. Almost like she passed it anticipating that she indeed was outside her.
Yeah, I can just imagine going through Kaya's head. She's probably like, are you kidding me? But yeah, not a bad option there from Ellie. She expected to see Kaya run round, but you just got to, they should know each other better by this stage. They've played enough games together, and Ellie should know that Kaya's probably not going to be making that run, and just to pull it back.
They're actually the top shot assist combo so far at the start of this W League season. So Carpenter finds Kaya Simon for more shots than any other tandem in the W League. Watch this space as this second half evolves, and strangely playing into the wind may suit this Melbourne City team for balls in behind for the fullbacks or the wingbacks.
Yeah, you're not wrong there, Speedy. This Melbourne City team likes to keep possession. They like hitting feet, and to have that ability to, you know, you can overhit balls a little bit when you're hitting it into the wind, and it's almost easier.
Barnes puts it out in front of Catley. Mijatovic is there for the early cutback. Serbian has it. Just missed Kinga, but Lewick was there as a backup plan. Now stop. Kinga's made an interesting run into the box. Almost picked up the scraps off Tegan Allen. Away by Menges, and anywhere will do for Grace Maher. Catley again. Burst of speed. Got away from Ayres. Back to Mijatovic. Delivers deep. And good goalkeeping. Casey Dumont calling Beard out of it when it could easily have developed into a muddle where you don't want a miscommunication.
Yeah, in situations like that, you definitely want your goalkeeper to take charge and to be directing you what to do or what not to do. So Casey did well there, and she's definitely someone who's going to always command her box. But Melbourne City have come out really firing this second half. I wonder what was said at half time, because You know, it's almost like they've got an extra bit of spark going on and knocking the ball around a lot better.
Simon
Man coming.
dropping deep as well.
Play it early.
She is being asked to play the number 9 role. It's not your
Easy
your
now,
traditional
easy.
number 9 for Rado Vidicic here as Checker takes the game on. Left it behind. Hansen couldn't take it the other way.
No, Kai Simon isn't your typical number 9. She's not going to stand up front and wait for the ball to hit her on the chest. She's going to come back and look for it. And that creates a different dimension to the game.
Couldn't slip it past Beard either, with Carpenter making that run in behind. Now trying to help out defensively, and she won it back off Jenkins. Stott heard a shout from Simon. Gave it up rather tamely in the end to Angie Beard.
Well done, though, by Kaya. She's been involved in everything at the moment, and you've still got to give a player a few minutes to settle into the game. But she's doing really well, so creating a lot of opportunities here for Melbourne City.
Oh, classy turn. Mijatovic. Goes to Van Egmond. Wider still to Carpenter. Jenkins got good body position on her. It's not quite happening for City as they enter the box at the moment.
Yeah, well done there by Jenkins. Just got her body in the way. But again, another good build-up here from City. Patient around the edge of the box, and it just didn't quite come together there in the end. But well defended by Victory. You can't take away from them what they're able to do when they drop into that block and absorb the pressure that City's putting on them.
Stott to an offside Carpenter. For the second or third time in this game, it's an aspect of her game she has to work on a little, perhaps.
Yeah, she does get caught offside a fair bit, but that also comes with the way that she plays. She likes to run close to the line and get in those high attacking positions. So as she matures a little bit more as a player, I think that she's definitely going to learn that line a little bit better.
The critique would be, you're looking across the line. You've got to be able to see that, but how hard is it when you're on the pitch to have that aspect of everything sorted out when you're looking at teammates, where the ball's coming from, where you're making your runs?
Yeah, it can be tough. You're taking in a lot of information in one go. But yeah, you do need to be looking across the line at all times. But it's also a defender's role to step up at the last minute and put attacking players in an offside position, which is hard to time. And as I said, comes with experience.
Hatley trying to alert Millie Mijatovic to her defensive role from that throw-in situation. Allowed the Victory out comfortably.
If you look at the way that Victory is set up here, they sit quite deep with their back four as they're passing it across the back line, yet with their attacking players, they're quite high. And what it means is that there's quite a big disconnect between their back line and their front line, and I think that what the Victory defenders need to do is, with their two centre-backs, they need to drive into the midfield and actually take space and draw midfielders out and then start to play, rather than trying to play so disconnected and so far apart.
Oh, Longo dragged back. And it's Checker this time. Remember Barnes dragging back a Victory player in the first half and earning herself a yellow card. That was a close run thing for Checker. Had an anxious look at the referee.
Yeah, she's frustrated with that one because she probably didn't put a whole lot of force behind it, but the point is that she's got her arm up across the shoulder, and all Longo needs to do is go down, and the free kick's there to be given, and it's in a very dangerous position.
Lydia Williams getting protection at her near post. Headed away. Allen, great ball, nice idea. Offside flag was up though, and she found a teammate on the chest. Annalie Longo had gone that fraction too early.
Yeah, that's a great little chip-in ball there by Tegan Allen. I thought she was going to wind up for a shot, but much better opportunity to just clip one in behind.
Exactly. Not enough people clip it back in. They all see the glory goal, don't they? The 30-yard screamer into the top corner. And more often than not, they welly it into the car park, as we've got the setup here today at ABD. Simon to Carpenter. Saw the run of Lewick. Couldn't pick her out.
Yeah, Speedy, it's hard not to get excited. Your eyes light up. You dream about those moments nights before the game, and when it comes out to you, you think you've got it. You think you've hit it, and all of a sudden you've broken a windscreen in the parking lot. But you thought you had it.
At that opportunity, though, there are so many passing lanes that open up, and sometimes it can be your best chance of the game if you play the right side foot pass in behind. Clever little reverse ball there from Mijatovic. Looks the classy customer, doesn't she? The Serbian midfielder. Again, that turn. Catley v Tegan Allen again. Catley looks at the referee and says, I've copped one there and I'm not getting a whistle. Is there any danger? What's different to what happened to me on the other side in that first half, remember?
Yeah, except for I actually won the ball, but yeah, Catley keeps pulling up a bit sore. I wonder if she's actually already got a knock above her ankle, because often when you've already got a knock and you keep getting hit in the same spot, it can be even more frustrating. And she seems to have that look in her eyes, like it's a little bit more than what we're seeing.
Stott advancing. Lewick told to shift it to Barnes. Catley is ready and available again. Mijatovic, cut back, cut out by Menges. Now Kinga got underneath it, stabbed it well over in the end, but lovely build-up down this left-hand side again.
Brilliant build-up there from Melbourne City. Again, coming from Catley, and a great little ball in for Mijatovic, and comes out to Kinga, and you expect her to put those ones on frame. She hasn't hit it badly, but a great opportunity there from Melbourne City.
Love that terminology, on frame. Great skill. Georgie Gomandale, you've both got it in your locker, don't you?
Must be a Canberra thing.
It's an American thing as well, I think. Got to get it on frame. Hello to our American viewers watching on ESPN Plus. Apologies for the accent. Blustery conditions here at the home of Hume City. I've seen a lot of games here in the FFA Cup down the years. They've got a proud quarter-final banner hanging in the club rooms on the opposite side here. Quarter-finalists in 2019 and regular competitors in the round of 32 down the years. Well-weighted pass again from Barnes to Catley as the lefties combine. Mijatovic makes her move again, takes it in stride. Millie Mijatovic back to Van Egmond. Victory dropping deep in numbers just to stifle the City and force them wide. Stott looked for a killer ball. It broke for Lewick, who stabbed it straight through to Dumont.
Mijatovic again in that build-up play. She's playing very well in this second half, and every time she gets on the ball, they're looking dangerous. But this Victory defence, they're just absorbing pressure. And the play that Melbourne City are coming up with and the way that they're able to defend that, they're doing really well. So Jeff would be very happy with what he expected and what he wanted from them coming out in this second half of that block defence. They're definitely executing that game plan to a T. So it's now a matter of getting the ball, earning some possession and going forward and actually trying to win this game rather than play out a nil or draw.
And Egmont, and a long way off the intended target of Carpenter. Saw that shot of the kebab a moment ago, similar to the one devoured by Tara Rushton pre-game, and myself. The lamb kebab here certainly does sell well. Hume City doing a wonderful job providing the catering.
A few happy customers with some lamb kebabs, I'm sure, on a cold night like this.
Tara, for more on that?
The kebab was lovely. I probably put a little bit too much chilli in it, and you were lucky not to drip it all over your notes, Speedy. You had to get up and leave the table, okay?
Couldn't have done it without you, Tara. You alerted me at just the right time.
It was wonderful.
Need to bring a bib next time, note to self.
Hey.
Turned over by Marr. One back by Lewick, and Carpenter shoulder to shoulder. And an injury sustained, unfortunately, for the Victory player, it appears. Referee goes on because it's not a head injury, but City now will be told to sportingly stop play. Real distress.
She does look like she's actually grabbing at her head, so I wonder if she's hit her head on the ground on the way down, and that hurts. Good shoulder to shoulder, but unfortunately just the way that she's fallen has not allowed her to get her arm out to protect her head. We hope she's all right.
Yeah, good pickup on that replay to see the way the head just slammed into the turf, and you worry about concussion symptoms here for Grace Marr.
She's been a really solid player there for Victory tonight as well. Really commanding that midfield, and such a young player to do that. She's got a head on her shoulders, definitely beyond her years. So Victory will want to be seeing her get up from this and able to play on. But of course, player safety comes first, and they've got to do a proper head injury assessment and check how she's going.
It was a good scrap, wasn't it? Mentioned that these two both came into the W League as 15-year-olds. And let's hope Grace Marr is okay. Now, it's in the rules and regulations that the referees follow that when you have a head knock like this, there's 3 minutes. You can stop the game and make sure that they're all clear. And great to see Ellie checking on Grace as we go down to Tara again.
Yeah, thanks, Speedy. A bit of news down here. As far as I can hear, Tegan Allen yelled to the bench and to Jeff Hopkins, "I've done my quad." So there could be a change imminent, whether she thinks it's serious, whether she can run it out. Just wait and see.
Yeah, she's got it strapped already. Obviously a concern, and she's got Catley and Mijatovic just overloading her at times on this side of the pitch in this second half.
It's really sad to hear about Tegan Allen. As I mentioned earlier in the game, she's a player who's battled a lot of injuries, especially over the last year, and her ability to even be where she is now is a credit to her hard work. So hopefully it's not a serious quad injury, and if we see her come off tonight, that you know, a bit of rehab, and we will see her before the end of the season. But a quad injury, if she's, as she said, done her quad, if that's a tear, then that can be anywhere up to 6 weeks or longer, depending on the severity of it.
Just about every one of these players would have a story of fighting back from injury. You think of Lydia Williams, the injuries that she's had down the years to get back for major tournaments. Kaya Simon right now really just trying to get her body 100% again, heading into that Olympic year once more. Through the legs of Longo, Checker got a stride on Dowie that time. Has had her hands full at times, Emma Checker. The most advanced the Victory have been in this second half in numbers, trying to find Dowie in amongst a couple of City defenders. You cannot clock off on Natasha Dowie, as we saw on Thursday night football a few weeks back in Brisbane, where she scored a superb solo goal.
Yeah, no, you definitely can't. I was about to say it's a big ask to whip a ball in there in between 4 defenders and ask her to bring it down and put it in the goal. But if there's anyone in the league that's going to do it, it's going to be Tash Dowie, so why not give it a go?
finds her fellow wingback. Or found by Carpenter, rather. Catley can have another go here. Working it to the byline, whipped that in with pace, and Menges was there to cut it out. That'll wake you up on a cool night. I want to smack her in the nose.
Definitely, that'll wake you up. You don't want it hitting you anywhere on a cold night. It stings 100 times more than it would otherwise. But Steph Catley has had a great second half as well, and her ability to just run at players is frightening. So City need to keep getting the ball to her and get players in the box.
Menges again with the header clear after a disappointing corner from Van Egmond. Handy addition to the back line this season for the Victory is Emily Menges.
Yeah, such a high-quality player coming from Portland Thorns, and a lot of success in her career so far. She was named in the NWSL Best 11 in 2016, which is not a small feat, and then in the second Best 11 in 2017. And from all accounts, she's apparently in her career best form at the moment, so that's frightening for this league if she gets up to good form.
Back-to-back headers clear from Menges. Mentioned that first one. Could nearly have come off her nose in the A-League a couple of weeks back. Jason Hoffman from Newcastle caught one in the face and wound up having dental surgery to sort out 4 teeth. Did the damage, just a ball whacked at him by Daniel Georgievski. So that's what the players go through. You can pick up knocks and niggles out of nowhere.
You can, and it's often the unexpected injuries. Last season, I split my head open and spent a night in hospital. So it's injuries that you don't expect and can be as simple as a ball to the face, and it can do a lot of damage.
That was gruesome. Look it up on social media. Still there, I think. Georgie Yeomandale's split head. Tell you what, the surgeon did a good job.
He did. Sometimes I forget it's even there.
Williams, look at that. The penetration in the kick, read by Simon, but could only get within 10 metres of halfway. That breeze remains strong, and it has been left to right on your TV screens throughout this game.
I'm really liking this high press that Victory have brought in this second half, and you know, only in isolated situations. Sometimes we can see teams high pressing all the time and it can just tire teams out, but they're just doing it in positions where they think that they can win the ball high, and that's off goal kicks, and it is proving effective because they are winning possession higher up the field, and that creates opportunities to then get players, get Natasha Dowie on the ball and then get players in behind her, supporting her. So it's definitely looking more, they're looking more of an attacking threat this half.
Barnes, terrific ball. Look at that first touch from Carpenter, then left it behind with the second, but able to work it wide to stop. Jeff Hopkins preparing for his next move.
Yeah, so we might see Leah Privatelli come on in a minute, and another attacking player for Victory. So I wonder if he's looking to go up and score some goals, or who's going to be coming off here. It's hard to tell whether it's going to be Tegan Allen with that quad injury that we were speaking about earlier, or if we're going to see another one of the Victory players make way. Is Grace Maher going to be able to play out this game? There's a few questions, so I'm sure we'll find out very shortly.
Corner earned and taken short. Van Egmond. Barnes. Back post was the cry, and she found Kaya Simon backing off as well. Great pick out from Barnes. Too tough an angle for Kaya Simon to test Dumont.
tough angle to come up against a goalkeeper in hot form, but that sub that we were talking about earlier, it does look like it's going to be Tegan Allen making way for Leah Privatelli. So unfortunate to see Tegan pulling up sore and not able to play out the game. But it'll be exciting to see what Leah Privatelli can bring to the game and going forward as more of an attacking kind of player.
Longo. Some terrific moments in this game. And I got her with the commentator's curse. Pass straight out of play. And it's time for that change. So Tegan Allen will go into rehab mode. Hopefully we see her back before too long. She battles that quad issue. And Leah Privatelli slots in the right back role.
Good thing for Tegan is she can probably just lay flat down on the grass and it'll ice her quad enough. It's that cold down there.
31st game for Privatelli in the W League. As you say, more attack-minded than she may need to be in the closing stages here, because Mijatovic and Catley have just been bombing on down this left-hand side together. Now Simon, lovely pass in behind. Mijatovic looking for Kinga in the middle. Simon picks up the second ball. What about the shift and the shot? Didn't have the pace though to test Dumont.
Such a good build-up play again by Melbourne City. They're starting to play some very exciting football. And again, it's that player, Mijatovic, getting on the ball, cutting it back, and then Kaya Simon with a tricky little step at the top of the box and tries to get a shot away. Probably doesn't get as much on it as she would have liked to, but another dangerous build-up from Melbourne City, and you can just feel like a goal is coming.
Melbourne City unbeaten to start the season. Any kind of positive result tonight and they'll go outright top above the Wanderers. Inadvertent touch off the referee there, and it broke the way of the victory when it would have found City. So she blows it up and says we'll have a drop ball, and it will be Melbourne City's ball. Uncontested drop ball, of course, in the modern day. Tried to make it a step over. Couldn't quite get it done. Has had a terrific game though, by and large.
Yeah, she's let a lot of it go, which is always good to see. You don't want to see the referees getting involved too much unless they have to. So she's been pretty good across the park so far, but as you said, probably doesn't have the quick feet like some of the players out there are able to get out of the way of that one.
Isabella Blaise in charge. Menges going long. Here's the pace of Privatelli. Barnes just had to back off in the end, and Privatelli's around her. Oh, that was a chance. Just poked it too close to Lydia Williams in the end.
Great ball in there by Menges, and then, as you said, shows her speed, Leah Privatelli here. Great run. Lauren Barnes would know her as a player. They would have played together throughout the time and knows how quick she is. It's probably just a little bit of experience lacking there and ability to, hold up the ball. She had a bit of time to take another touch and to actually find Tash Dowie's feet in the midfield there. But great run there so far by Leah Privatelli, and hopefully we can see her continue that for the rest of the half.
Carpenter with a burst of speed in the other corner. Got the better of Beard in the end. Simon's offside. And there's that discipline. She thought she was comfortably onside. The victory just stepped up, marshalled by McCormick.
Yeah, very experienced victory back line, and saw Kaya have that look across the line, think she was onside, and as she's turned her head back towards the ball, they've stepped up and it's put her in an offside position. So very well defended there by Jenna McCormick.
How long does that take to get on the same page as a back four in pre-season, because they're pretty short, aren't they, in the W League?
Yeah, it is difficult, and it's a dangerous game to play, because if you start being a defensive line who are continually going to step up, if you get it wrong, you're in all sorts of trouble because you're going in the wrong direction as the attackers are running at you. But they've got a very experienced backline there with Menges and Angie Beard as well, and you expect your fullbacks to always be higher than your centre back, so it's a matter of the centre back pairing really.
Lovely move, Catley, found by Kinga. Stretch to keep that in. I thought she's going to turn around and see the flag and say, why have you got that in the air? Rada Vidicic is on the same page. Danielle Anderson was looking through the body of Kinga here. Did the ball go across the whole of the line? It was a guess from the assistant.
I guess tough call there. It's hard to see whether it goes in or out, and yes, he's stopping an attacking play by calling it as going out, but at the same time, if they had have scored and it's gone out, you know, it's probably a bigger question to ask. We'll all forget about that one by the end of the game, but if it had been the other way round, I'm sure Victory would be questioning it for the rest of the season.
You side on the conservative nature of the refereeing. Is that what you're doing there, Georgia? Through to an offside Kaya Simon here. Now, was this offside?
She looked to be offside, but whether, you know, she timed that run or not, but as we spoke earlier, Victory are doing a very good job of stepping up and making sure that any of those City players trying to sit high are in offside positions.
Menges. Ayres been pretty quiet. Can still explode when you least expect it and put in a 30-yard screamer. Privatelli's pace comes in handy there. She got goal side of Mijatovic in a flash. And Egmont keeping it away from Ma, and then an inadvertent flick caught Ma in the face. She was down for about 0.2 of a second. Back to her feet again, already copped that heavy head knock on the other side of the field in this second half.
Yeah, a little flick like that would have stung just on the edge of her nose. But she's all right. She's a pretty tough player, so back up pretty quickly.
Barnes strolls around Ayres. Finds Catley again. First time delivery. Cut out in the middle. Hanson dropping back in front of her back four. Oh, poke in the eye. Thanks very much.
Yeah, and as we mentioned earlier, they always hurt a lot more when it's cold like this.
Let's hope it just happens in 2s and not 3s tonight for Grace Ma. That'll do. On being on the rough end of things. Here she is. Oh no, it's Longo stepping up, and that was another half chance to release Jenkins or Beard. Carpenter able to get back and sort it out for City. Last time these teams met, it was an 88th minute winner, direct from a corner, that ensured we didn't have the first draw in the derby. Are we looking at the first one tonight? It was 0-0 until Christine Nan whipped it in direct.
Yeah, that's right. In this game's Melbourne City are definitely looking like they have the better of the chances, but at the same time, Melbourne Victory are defending so well, so it wouldn't surprise me if they are able to hold out Melbourne City for the rest of this game. But whether Victory will be able to get up the other end, whether Tash Dowie will be able to get half a chance to have a shot away, you never know. So it is one of those games that you can't rule finished until the whistle goes.
Catley, always an option. Straight into Privatelli. I wasn't sure where it had gone. Got back in time though and really committed to that challenge. And Catley says, what have I done to deserve all this?
Yeah, Catley wouldn't be happy with that. She's been knocked quite a few times, and it's quite frustrating as a player if you're not being protected by the referee in situations like that. So, you know, disappointing to see, because Catley's not the kind of player who's going to pull out of things, but at the same time, we don't want to see her getting injured. So I think a few of those things, whether they're 50-50s, the ones that aren't, need to start being pulled up by the referee.
Had a little word with the ref on the way over to take this corner. It's Steph Catley. Drives it in. Oh, Dumont came and then retreated, and Kaya Simon, if she keeps that down, will surely have scored, but it's not to be as yet for City.
Great ball in here from Steph Catley. Just the shape on the ball to get the width behind it, and Kaya knew, she was watching it onto her head. She knew that that was a great opportunity and just couldn't get behind it enough. She got underneath it and lifted it over the top. She'd be disappointed with that, but it's another good opportunity for Melbourne City.
Stott scythed the ball that allowed Simon to help it on first time. Great tracking, Jenkins. Two athletes head-to-head down that far side. Carpenter would have burnt off most, wouldn't she? But Jenkins stuck with her stride for stride.
Yeah, for a minute I thought we were watching a 100-metre race there. They're both very quick players, and Jenkins did very well as an attacking player to track her player all the way back there and shut down a good opportunity.
Kaya Simon was nearly in again. Menges stepped across in the nick of time. And Jenkins helps it forward, trying to get Dowie into the game. Absolutely bossing possession, as they've done pretty much throughout here, Melbourne City. Plenty of advice being barked out from the sideline as well, from the respective coaches. The urgency going up a notch. Mijatovic. Here comes Van Egmond. And it's a pass that you're not sure what Van Egmond saw. Straight to a Victory player.
No, I think she saw a pass on through there a bit earlier, and the time had passed and she didn't pull out of it. So often we see that, but she's been pretty good all round tonight, Emily Van Egmond. Her distribution has been really good and her work rate fantastic tonight. So she can miss a couple of passes here and there, and we're not going to call her up on them.
Inside the final 10 minutes of the 90. The deadlock is always broken in a derby. Will it be the case again here this evening at ABD Stadium? Barnes, grand final winning hero with the victory in 2014. Catley lifted the trophy that day. Now both with City. Look at that ball from Catley. Awkward for Beard. She's teed up Kaya Simon, who goes wide with the effort. Took a long time to set up the shot. Still had the bottom corner at her mercy, but it just won't go in for Kaya.
What a great ball here from Steph Catley. We see her getting down the line all of this second half. Another great ball in. Kaya Simon on the end of it. She's been involved in all of the play, and she's put it wide, disappointingly, but again, in the right spot and tried to find a corner. Great build-up from Melbourne City.
Well, Beard cut it out that time as Van Egmond tried to release Simon. She still wants it, Kaya. Might get it via Carpenter. Got to stay on side, and she does. Deflection on her cross. Oh! It almost went up towards the left hand of Jenna McCormick. They've already given away one penalty. Last touch off her for the corner.
Yeah, awkward bounce there for Jenna McCormick, but lucky to just put it behind for a corner.
Let's go, girls. Make it ours. Guys, viewer top. Stick with them. Viewer top.
Watch the edge of the box is the cry. Catley to deliver. Doesn't look for Carpenter. All the way in. Lewick's header. Back off the post. They're getting closer. And Ivy Lewick doesn't score too many goals. That would have been one to savour in a derby. Joint top scorer in derbies down the years with 2. It's the most anyone has ever scored in this fixture, the previous 8 editions. Into Beard at close range. Another corner. That count is mounting.
It is, and they're getting closer and closer, this City side, to scoring. So interesting to see what happens in the next little bit.
And Egmont got her defender in the air and now finds an option inside in Catley. Plenty of passing. Teammates waiting in the middle for a corner, a cross rather, to be whipped in. Catley eventually obliges. Then it's Lewick trying to get on the end of things. All the way back to Checker. Stott attacking, and well wide in the end, but that's how frustrated she's become, trying to score from 25 metres out.
She is someone who can hit one like that, though. She's got great technique, and I'm sure we've seen her score 1 or 2 from positions like that before. Again, here she is. She sees it. She looks up and she goes, this is mine to have a shot. Unlucky not to get better shape on it and to put it on frame.
Here's what the Victory have been waiting for. Chance to get Dowie running in behind. Found by Longo. It's a terrific ball out of defence initially. Now Hanson, highest up the pitch. She's had a touch in the entire game pretty much. Now Jenkins. Dowie trying to get in there, and it just drifted away on the breeze as the Victory fans got excited for a brief moment.
And the 2 players that we expect to see the build-up come from Victory, and they did. It's Darian Jenkins with a great ball in. Unlucky not to find the head of Tash Dowie, and she knows it's a good ball. So great little play there from Victory, and they're still looking dangerous going into the dying minutes of this game.
Carpenter bends one around to an onside Kaya Simon. That's an important touch off Beard.
Yeah, I think Kai actually ran into an offside position there, so I think she was lucky that Beard got the touch out over the sideline so that City could retain possession.
Barnes with her head up. Lewick is more advanced than Van Egmond at the moment. Did hit the post a moment ago. The veteran midfielder, Ivy Lewick. 6 grand finals behind her, 4 championship wins. She just loves her football and goes all around the world to play it.
She does love her football, Ivy Lewick. She plays football just to travel, I think, and has played in many countries around the world, but a player who is hard-working and just such a lovely girl as well. So it's good to see her playing well in this Melbourne City side.
Carpenter will get there. Goes long and deep. And Privatelli thought it was going out for a goal kick, but then Mijatovic arrived. And Egmont drifting across to present as an option. Oh, nearly for Kinga, but Menges got across in time.
Yeah, crucial little intercept there by Menges. She knew that she had to make contact with the ball. She knew how crucial that touch was, so she's done well.
Is this the moment? Checker on the move in the middle. Near post delivery. And 3 Victory players were guarding that near post. Now Mijatovic scored a special goal to nail Sydney FC last week. Saw off the champions last week, now trying to beat the reigning premiers. Oh, must be! Kinga from Melbourne City. It's another late winner in a derby.
What a brilliant goal there by Yukari Kinga, and again it's come from Steph Catley. She saw the space in behind, she signalled to Emily Van Egmond to slip the ball in behind so that she could get across into the box, and it's just played out perfectly for them. Emily Van Egmond, that little ball, Steph Catley cuts it back, and what a finish into that top corner by Kinga.
Her 10th W League goal. Casey Dumont could do nothing about that after the first half penalty save. Pinpoint finish after an exquisite delivery from Steph Catley, who, if you missed it in the first half, was having an ACL test, and now she's played out the game and run it out so strongly. Now the Victory have no option but to try and attack in the dying minutes.
Yeah, they've got nothing to lose now. There's no sitting back and trying to absorb the City attack. They've got to go forward and try and get something out of this game. It'd be really disheartening though for Melbourne Victory. They've been defending so well in this last 10, 15 minutes, holding out City really well, and there's just not a lot you can do about that play. And again, Casey Dumont's had a great game, but when you put it in the top corner like that, there's not much you can ask your keeper to do about it.
And only 2 minutes of stoppage time being added on. I seem to remember a Victory player, Grace Maher, being down for about 2 minutes on her own after that head knock. That was in this half, wasn't it, Georgia?
Yeah, I believe that there was a couple of knocks in this half, as well as a couple of substitutions. So it is a surprising to only see to see 2 minutes to go up on the board, but the referee's got the timer.
Well, the problem is that the referees don't have the timers, something that football authorities need to look at, because they're worried about managing the game, and coming up with the right amount of stoppage time sometimes is the last thing on their minds. But Rado Vidicic doesn't mind. He's preparing another change to take a few more seconds off the clock, and his team is about to go 3 points clear at the top of the ladder. The Wanderers not in action this week. They've got the week off. So Melbourne City opening up a nice little buffer. 4 wins and a draw, unless the Victory can snatch something here. Dowie gave away the foul.
Yeah, I'm not sure she has a lot to argue with there. It was a clear shove in the back and a clear foul to give away, and frustrating, because Victory have gotten themselves in a good position, and all she's allowed City to do is retain more possession and allowed them to make this sub and slow down the game a little bit. We see Riley Dobson come on, another exciting player and a danger to this Victory backline, so they're going to have to stay on their toes.
Haven't the Melbourne City recruiters done well to find Millie Mijatovic when so many go to the NWSL and find American recruits? They've found a lady out of Serbia who has had another terrific game tonight.
Yeah, she has. She's been solid for them all season, and almost seems like she's getting better and better with every game that she plays, whether that's a comfort thing with the rest of the team. But she's definitely a quality signing, and it's always good to see players coming over from places other than the US and expand our global horizon of the W League.
Here's the pace of Dobson, but Menges retrieved the situation. And a goal kick is earned. Is there enough time for the Victory to create a chance at an equaliser? They just don't do derby draws, these two. Melbourne City with the latest ever winner in a derby. It comes from Yukari Kinga, the World Cup winner with Japan. Had the poise and composure to finish off. Brilliant lead-up work again from Steph Catley. And Melbourne City making a sensational start to the campaign. The winners of 3 straight championships when they first came into the competition. Look, one of the teams to beat again. A smile on the face of Kaya Simon and company. 4 wins out of 5, 13 points out of 15 for Melbourne City, who win the 9th Melbourne Derby 1-0. Let's go down to Tara Rushton.
Yes, Speedy, you've thrown down to me and I'm trying to chase any player that I can possibly get. We're actually waiting to speak to Steph Catley. Bear with me, I might see if Em Van Egmond wants to have a word. Oh, God. That was a big no. Em, happy with the result in the end?
Yeah, obviously stoked. better second half from us, and we build from there.
Build from there, all right. Undefeated, top of the table, not too bad.
Yeah, we're going all right. I think the more games we play, the better we'll be. And, you know, obviously we have a very good team and it's really enjoyable playing with this group of girls so far. So hopefully we keep the momentum going.
Okay, honestly, can I ask, because you got the result in the end, Steph Catley whipped in that gorgeous ball, Yukari Kinga, who else in the box? Do you feel relieved because you did miss the pen?
Yeah, of course. You know, it's always nice to get the win, and obviously Kinga to get the goal is really nice for her. You know, she's a great player and she's a good addition to the team, and, yeah, we're just stoked.
Thanks so much. Good luck. Back to you, Speedy.
Thanks, Tara. Yes, Emily Van Egmond had her mind read when she stepped up to the spot in the first half. Casey Dumont kept a clean sheet for so long. But after the victory, won the last derby in the 88th minute through Christine Nan. It's Melbourne City winning this one a minute later than that through Yukari Kinga. World champion with Japan. That famous win in 2011. All that success on the international stage with her country, but she loves the W League. Been a regular fixture with Canberra United and now Melbourne City down the years. And she is a winner. And a winner again here tonight. And the lady who delivered the ball for her match winner was Steph Catley, the Matilda superstar, and she's joined Tara and Georgia.
Yeah, I think we're ready for you now, Steph. A big congratulations on the result tonight. It was only a matter of time. You've got to feel that. You were whipping in some gorgeous balls. They were just begging. It was like, finish me off, just finish me off. It didn't matter whether you were on the left or the right.
Yeah, swapped over a few times tonight, but it was a tough game, and against Victor it's always like that. It's kind of end to end, and Tash does such a great job of holding out. We really wanted to get on top of that, but I'm really glad we got the win.
Some really good combination between you and Mijatovic. Is that something you guys are working on, or is it kind of fluid throughout the whole team of who you're combining with up that side?
Yeah, to be honest, it's always hard coming in with no pre-season. So I've been trying to learn to play with Millie a little bit, and it's been a bit shaky at times, but we're starting to get there, and same with Claire. So we're just trying to get some time together, and it's starting to work out.
You got a knock early on. We were worried because it was an Achilles test, but you pulled up okay. Is the body feeling okay?
Yeah, there's a few knocks tonight, but yeah, I think it's fine. It was something a little bit weird in my knee, but obviously I was able to play the rest of the game, so it's a good sign.
Did the weird knee end up with you on the opposite side of the pitch? We're all in awe. We thought, okay, what's going on here?
I don't often get on the right side, but it felt okay.
I was really excited. I thought we were going to see you cut in and score a bomb on your left foot.
I know, finally I get the chance to shoot on my good side and I didn't take it, but anyway.
And talking about the team overall, like you said, Mijatovic, Yukari Kinga pops up in the box. How does this team this season feel? Does it feel different from last season?
Yeah, to be honest, it feels a little bit more complete. I think we've got a little more depth. You saw obviously Kai coming off the bench tonight, and having someone like that come off the bench, or Millie or Claire, whoever it is, that you're getting quality throughout the entire team. So I think that's kind of the difference in it. It feels good.
We're going to take a look at your goal now because it wasn't too shabby at all. Doing and playing on the flank and having players like Yukari Kinga or Mijatovic, do you just know that you're just going to whip it in and someone's going to be in there to finish it?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, we get a lot of crosses into the box, and as you said, it was kind of only a matter of time, but you never know. So Kinga makes the best runs. She's so smart and she times them perfectly, so I felt like she was going to get it on the end of one tonight.
Oh, that she did. You get the result, you're undefeated and you're top of the table. Steph, thank you so much for joining us. A big congratulations on the result this evening.
Thank you very much.
I'll take that one from you. Or you can take it into the sheds. I'll take the mic. We're going to speak about one of her teammates tonight who came out in the second half, Kai Sum. She's going to be back here at ABD playing her 100th W League game next weekend when they do play Perth Glory. But when she came on, she had a host of chances out there tonight, Georgia.
Yeah, she did. She was really really bright from the start, looking sharp, the same as she did last week. I think that was one of her first touches in the game, was a little outside of the football down to Ellie Carpenter. So throughout the whole thing, I thought that there was always a chance that she was going to score. But it's just good to see her confident and playing as sharp as she is, because we haven't seen that from her for a couple of years. So it'll be good to see her getting 90 minutes under her belt and consistently playing with that kind of intensity and see how she holds out. But she's looking really sharp and she looked very dangerous in that second half tonight.
I mean, she's got a big goal on the horizon as well, doesn't she, when you speak about Olympic qualifiers and the Olympics coming up in a matter of months. really. She's been building on that game time. You've gone through it yourself, being a player and coming back from injury, and I find it interesting to see how do players tend to react when they're coming back from such a big injury, such as Kai's had, that kept her out of the game for such a long time.
It's often quite hard mentally because as a player you feel like you're ready to play those 90 minutes, and you do need a really good sports science team around you to almost hold you back and say, no, it's in your best interest to just hold back a little bit. Let's look at the bigger picture. And I can imagine that there's a little bit going on for Kaya in that regard, because she would be feeling like she's ready to go. She's ready to play 90 minutes. And it's the way that the coaching staff are able to manage her through that. I think that that's often the most difficult thing.
Yeah, hard, but she's going to want to build on it. She's going to want to try and start as well when it comes to a 100th W League game here next week. There's a host of W League action coming up across the weekend as well. It kicks off in Perth, and then we go to Brisbane for Raw v Reds. Then you're going to be in Newey. I'll be in Newey as well. It's a big double header for the Newcastle Jets against the reigning champion Sydney FC. What are you looking forward to most when it comes to this weekend?
Yeah, look, big game between Newcastle and Sydney FC, and Sydney FC are going to want to be getting points. They didn't get a win last week against this Melbourne City side, and they're going to be wanting to get back on the scoreboard and to come away with 3 points to keep themselves up in that top of the table area.
Are you saying that just because you're calling the action?
Yeah, it's the most exciting game of the weekend. Sydney FC playing Newcastle.
Make sure you watch Fox Sports, okay, guys? Because Georgia Yeomandale will be in commentary, and then we'll be on the back of it with the A-League action as well. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Probably couldn't see how windy it was here at ADB, but it's different weather climate than it is in New South Wales and the rest of Australia. It was Melbourne City who got the chocolates against Melbourne victory. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you very soon across the weekend. Good night. Oh, I want to say, I can't remember. No, we did. We did last Thursday. I don't want anyone to get in trouble. Or even if you, yeah, what's easiest for you, or doing run the goal in, or that's probably the best. That's it. So GYD, we just summarise. It's like the Fox Sports News is thrown to us.
Yeah.
So I'll go, yeah, thanks so much. Well, Melbourne City, they remain undefeated and they go top